Hello, this is Dr. Smirnova, and in this videocast, I will share with you comments on the parts of the edTPA that you will be completing throughout the fieldwork experience and in the future during your student teaching. So let's start with task 1. Task 1 is about planning. So make sure that when you fill out this part of the edTPA commentaries, uh, use the future tense because that's what you will plan to do during your student teaching or during your fieldwork experience. In task 1, part A, you are to provide the context of learning information. So this mostly about what school you are taking your fieldwork experience or student teaching, and what classroom you are in and what the students are like. So there is a template on edTPA handbook, in the edTPA handbook, and also on eClass I provided you a template which you can use and complete insert in these brackets. You see here it's in the brackets. So look how the student from the previous semester was doing it. I will scroll down slowly and you will see where students are writing writing the information about the school and a little bit about the district, but make sure that you follow what is required, how much time is devoted each day for literacy instruction in the classroom. Just, that's why prepare your questions to the teacher when we come to school so that you would be able to answer all these questions fully and substantively. So please look through the questions beforehand and be ready to complete this part. Uh, Ideally, it would be good if you do it before you teach your lessons. So this is task 1, part A. Now, and I also provided an example and also with the comments you can see where student was completing and where the comments are on the margins on the right, so you can see how you can improve your writing when you start designing your part A in task 1. Let's move on to task 2. In task 2 you are to provide 3 lesson plans that will be focused in your teaching. Again, it's again about planning. So you provide the lesson plans. Here, the student didn't see my comments. I received students' lesson plans, and I created these comments just for you. So first of all, pay attention that when you do goals, goals are general um, statements about what students learn by the end of the unit plan. Some goals can be general for several lesson plans. That's why you cannot use the verbs, observable verbs, in the goals. They are about generalizations students will make in the end of the unit plan. So here you will see, and you can look after this recording, go back and explore these goals and see that the student was using activities instead of learning outcomes. The student will be able to complete an I notice wonder. So it's not the learning outcome, learning what will happen after student complete this activity. That's the goal. Students will understand. This activity will help them understand or make a generalization about American communities or Native Americans or so on and so forth. So then when you write your objectives, make sure that when you write your condition, it's about tasks or materials, and you always have to add the subject. This condition shows the student will use artifacts, readings, facts, photographs. About what? Is it about math, language arts, social studies? It's not clear. Make sure that you will uh, inform the reader and the teacher who take your lesson plans about what content your objective is, and use the student without in the singular, because it's a generic meaning that every student in class will do something. Make sure that you have only one verb in your objective, because if you have several objectives like this student, discuss, write, and use vocabulary, so it means for every behavior you have to create a criteria, set of criteria. And if you don't, then you are missing the point. So please make sure that you have one behavior, and for that particular behavior you have appropriate condition criteria, how you will measure that behavior, with what tools. So just read these comments later on, and um, take notes, and make sure that you would not repeat the same mistakes. So each lesson should be clearly labeled: lesson number one, lesson number two, lesson number three. And I recommend, for your really showing how you understand the process of teaching, make sure that you have three types of lesson: direct instruction, inquiry, and cooperative learning. And in the assessment part, make sure that you have three types of assessments, so that again the evaluator would see that you know how to build your environment, teaching, learning environment, and then you can pre-assess students' prior knowledge and assess them throughout the lesson plan and in the end of the lesson. So just look through these comments and make sure that you have. Um, you see here the student write that it is direct instruction, but the goals sound like for inquiry lesson. So make sure that you align everything, goals with objectives and with the content of the lesson. So these are lesson plans that you have to submit in one file. So next, task 1, part C, is about submitting in one file learning materials for lesson 1, lesson 2, lesson 3, and if you submit more than one lesson, so you have to provide diverse learning materials. Make sure that you have good directions, clear directions for every activity, and the materials are diverse, and show your creative approach in teaching, and they are aligned with the direct instruction lesson, inquiry, and cooperative learning. Your next part, task 1, part D, you have to provide assessment. And again, look at my comment. These are mostly summative assessments. You have to provide assessment tools for diagnostic, formative, and summative assessments. Make sure that you have all the materials, assessment tools that you created for your lesson plans provided in this part. So task 1, part E, is the commentary, and that's where you have to provide 9 pages. For the purpose of this course, I allow you to submit less than 9 pages. Write briefly, but try to have experience with answering these questions in your planning commentary. Make sure that, again, I remind you, It's a planning. That's why it should be what you will teach, how you will teach. It's about your future, how you are planning to teach. So again, you start with a central focus, describe that central focus and purpose of this content. And on e-class, I gave you directions. I have PowerPoint presentations about central focus, about academic language. So please look through all the materials, that supportive materials that would help you to be very precise and very substantive in the writing your commentary for edTPA Part E. Follow what is required. So these are about focus, and next about explain how your plans will build on each other um, to support student your focus, and how you will develop students skills and connections between the skills and concepts, and see and follow all these, read those questions, those prompts beforehand, before you start writing your commentary. And if you notice that about uh, students are also required to provide resources, make sure that you use APA format. Show your professionalism, show your understanding of how to use uh, resources and materials. And here is supporting learning literacy development through language. So here you see that language functions are expressed through Bloom's taxonomy, high level: analyze, argue, categorize, describe, explain. So you have to use and then provide the evidence what you would do and how you will accomplish those goals and objectives in your lessons when you start teaching. So please read beforehand, read all the supporting materials, visit PowerPoint presentations, and be ready for this. In task 2, part A, you have to provide the video. Here the student sent me her video using Google Docs. And that's what Google Docs allows. The storage allows you to share the video. And I give you a little fragment of the video.
What did we learn about Venn diagrams, Aaliyah?
So you see the student, the voice of the students in the class, the pupils, are not clear enough. The student, when she was completing her task 2, part A, so she added the uh, subtitles here on the slides to make sure that the evaluator can understand what the students are saying. Um, and I gave you the website. We Video is a good site. It's free site that will allow you to create subtitles and add comments, whatever you need for your video. In task 2, part B, you are to provide the commentary. Again, read beforehand and see how you will provide your commentary. Which lesson or lessons are shown in the video clips. You have to identify which particular lesson the student was using, lesson 3, and you will say, and you also you will record all the lessons, and then you will choose which lesson you can use to provide the evidence of students learning. And promoting positive learning environment, how you were doing it, engaging students in learning. So you have to follow all the prompts that are provided in the edTPA commentary part, so that you would give very substantive um, commentary and substantive comments and explanations of what you were doing in your during your teaching. Um, Task 3, Part A, it's where you will be submitting assessments, samples of student work. So I would recommend to be very neat. It's not appealing when you have black um, marker. You have to um, cover the name of the student, but you can use tools that will allow you to do this. Please be neat and provide the materials very neatly. So this is sample number 1. Then you will have to provide sample student 1 task 3 part B. You have to provide student 1 the rubric with your comments, with your feedback. And we discussed it in class. Please be specific and maybe give examples for students so that they would learn from your comments. This is sample number 2, student number 2. And again, the student students, these are comments, and sample number 3. So these are also comments. So there are different comments for students. So also be neat in everything you do. You show your professionalism. Um, Here is task 3, part C. You have to provide again commentary, assessment commentary. So you have to follow the directions in the format in edTPA, what is required. So please read beforehand so that you would know how you um, explain your assessment of the student work, all those 3 students from your class. And um, task 3, part D, you provide the rubrics. These are rubrics for your major assessment that you will comment on. So that's what the task would be about, and this is an example of student 1. Again, it's a assessment. Task 4, part E, student 1. These are rubrics, and with student, how you did this for students. This is probably student 2, the rubric, and student work, samples of student work, and you can see how student was doing it. So, and how the teacher was doing comments. This is not attractive, I would say. Again, you look at this. Task 4, part E, student 3, red color is really aggressive here. And just make sure that, in a Microsoft Word, you can use the box and cover it with white, and then just cover the text, and that's it, instead of making it so black and so um, not looking so aesthetically nice and neat. So these are comments on how you will do your edTPA part of the fieldwork experience. And this is one of the samples that I provided on e-class about context for learning, what exactly you would learn about it, and you have to know about it. There is a definition and there are samples and examples. Please Visit appropriate week with all the information about edTPA, and be prepared. Be prepared for field work, and then be prepared for your future certification. Good luck, and if you have questions, you know how to reach me, milasunshine@gmail.com, or post a question on discussion forum on our e-class. Thank you.